It's completely silent. I bought this pen last week. Maybe it was last week? Not too long ago. And I got it because one, it's small, brass, so it's really hard and heavy. It's substantial, very substantial for a pen like this. And the click is silent. I'm totally one of those people that has to fidget when I'm focusing on something or like reading or working. And a lot of times growing up, I got into trouble because I would click my pen. And actually, let me find a traditional pen. And a traditional pen, really loud and annoying, but this guy is a silent click. This to this. That was honestly the main reason I bought it, because it was silent and I can just sit there and do this all day long and nobody will ever know. Versus this, you got the whole area you're sitting in staring at you, wanting to take the pen and throw it at you or something. So today I am going to be talking about a question I get pretty frequently, making comp tracks. And if you don't know what a comp track is, basically what that is, when you're recording, you take a couple of different takes of the song or the section or whatever, and you pick and choose what sections are the best. And in doing this, you basically get a comp track, or a track that is everything that you want at the best quality that you could get. Basically, it's just a bunch of takes chopped up and put into a brand new take that has all of the good stuff. But today I'm going to go over how I do it, how it speeds up my workflow, because doing it like this has vastly sped up my turnaround time for when I record for people or for myself or whatever I'm doing. There's a couple of tricks that I do to speed that along, and I'm gonna share those with you today. Before we get into it, this is going to be a longer video because it's going to be start to finish how I make comp tracks in Pro Tools. And stick around at the very end and I'll kind of let you in on a little secret that I do specifically for this to blend difficult sections together. But with that, let's get into it. Okay, so we're in Pro Tools right here, and this is actually a song I tracked a while ago for a producer, and as you can tell, I did 4 separate takes. 3 complete top of the song to end of the song takes, and then the last take, I just did the last little bit of the song, because up to that point, everything else was great with the other 3 takes I got. Doing this only works if you get great takes straight from the source. So if you get like okay takes that aren't very good, you're gonna spend more time in post fixing things, and this is almost useless to you. To get the maximum efficiency from doing stuff like this is to make sure that the actual performance was good from the beginning, and that way you're just picking the best of the best, if that makes sense. So with that, let's get into it. So if we start from the very beginning, you can kind of tell the intro up to the first verse is all the same thing, and it's just going to be 4 on the floor. Super easy, nothing crazy, and like I said, it's all the same. So when we're making a comp track, we can just pick whatever one we want. Normally I'll pick the last one because typically my legs are warmed up and it's the most stable performance for me personally. And then going over to verse 2, what we're going to basically do is we're going to listen to each section and pick the best performance of that section. And you can do this one of 2 ways. You can go section by section of each song, or you can go in chunks of the song. And you're gonna choose one of these 2 ways to do this depending on the specific situation that you're in with this song. By that I mean what the song is actually doing. If you have a bunch of crashes, because doing this with crashes can get a little tricky. When it's just drums, it's a lot easier to just basically chop anywhere and stack it on top. But with crashes, you have to worry about the pitch and the same amount of sustain going into different sections, because what you're doing is you're blending different takes together. And if one cymbal was shaking one way, getting captured by the microphone, and another cymbal was shaking another way, and another take, it's going to sound a little weird and unnatural. And what we're trying to do here is blend it so that it sounds like it was all just taken one time time at the same time. So for this song, what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to the verse, the chorus, toms, and then the chorus, and find what take out of these three works the best for me. And if that doesn't work, we'll get more selective on it. But 9 times out of 10, one of these takes will be solid enough to be able to keep it in the comp track. So the second verse for all 3 takes is the exact same. The part that is going to be different is going to be the chorus. This guy, there's this tom groove right here. And then the second take is going to be a tom groove with the foot splash. Third take is similar to the first take with no foot splash, tom groove. And the last take is similar to the first take and the third take. So I like the last take the most, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and create a comp track and then push that take up into the comp track. So to do that, we're gonna go over to the left right here, click this little blue arrow, go up to new, and it'll make a new playlist for us. And then from there, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and make a cut. I already made a cut because I actually already did the song. And from there, once I select this, I'll look, make sure that everything I want is highlighted. The first section is highlighted because, again, like I said, the first section was just 4 on the floor and it was all the same. So because of that, I'm just gonna keep this whole take up until the bridge, and I will just push this up arrow. And you'll notice this went up to the new playlist right here, and this is gonna be where our comp track is going to live. Before we go any further, to avoid having to do this for every single track that you have, you're going to have to make a group from these individual tracks and then make sure the group is highlighted right here. And to do that, all you're going to do is select all of the instruments that you want to group, Command G, and it'll make a group. I already have one, so I'm not going to do it. But that's all you have to do. And then you just make sure that it's highlighted right here so that when you select one thing in the group, everything in that group will have the same thing done to it. So you're not having to do it like 8 or 9 different times. Going to the second bridge, because the first bridge I was just down. And like before, we're just gonna listen to every section and pick the best one. A lot of times when I'm recording, I kind of mentally already know what takes are good for what sections or what takes felt the best for me. So this will go by a little bit faster, but I always try to listen to the takes at least one time. Whether that be when I recorded it, I just listen to it again, or if I'm sitting at my desk and trying to pick out the best takes. So for all these takes, the first half of the bridge is going to be a build. So for time's sake, we're just going to go ahead and skip to the second half and listen to the parts that are actually different. Okay. Third take. And fourth take. So I actually liked the second take more for that fill. Like I said, just the build and the groove was all the same because the song was relatively simple minus the drum fills. Because of that, it makes it a lot easier to make comp tracks and everything else because I'm just focusing on just specific drum fills that sounded good or better than other ones. So I liked the second take. So like before, I highlight it and push this arrow up, and you'll notice it went up for every single track because it's all grouped together. Now we're gonna go to the build right here. I think for this one, the last take was the one to go with. But for this video, we'll listen to all the takes and pick the best one. Listening to the second take. Cool fill. Listening to the third take or fourth take. I think that's the take, but we'll listen to the other two just to make sure that we have the best one, but I think that one felt the best. That one felt great too. Last take. So like I said, I think the third one is going to be the one we're going to use. So like before, highlight the section, push the up arrow. Now we have a complete take. After that, all I would do is select the entire track, and then I would go up to edit, consolidate clip, and then consolidate them, and that would be my final track. But what if there was like half a section that didn't fit, or half a section felt better in take two than like take three? How would you do that? And we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. So we'll do that part for verse 2 going into the chorus. So like we liked this chorus right here, but let's say the groove for the first half of the second take, hopefully that made sense, was better than what we currently have. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna split this top clip, or our comp track, by selecting where we wanna split it, Command E, and then we'll go ahead and just drag this guy all the way out, and now we have a space to bump our second take, which is going to be this guy right here. You could just bump it up there, but I like to actually remove the current audio. It helps me understand more of what I'm actually doing. We're gonna go in and listen to the part that we're gonna put in. All right, now we're gonna select just before, split this guy, and then scroll over and split right here, because we only want to put that section in. We don't want to put the rest of the song in, so we have to split the two ends so that we have just a small piece that we can push up into that new section, or the comp track. Push it up, and now we're gonna have to do some messing around with it, because if you listen to it right now, one, there's a gap, but then two, you'll be able to hear. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag this guy all the way here. And that actually worked. Sometimes it just is convenient that way. For me, what I try to do is I try to be consistent on what crash cymbals I'm hitting for each take. And the reason I do that is for instances like this, where it just works because I hit the same crash at the same velocity, at the same volume, same time, all that stuff, and I don't have to doctor it up. If I wanted to go ahead and like doctor this guy up, then what I would do is, instead of being selected on the grid, I would go over to slip time, and that allows me to drag everything around, not specifically to the grid. And the benefit to doing that is you're able to blend things in and out at will to basically get it blended correctly and making it sound right. And if that didn't work, then what I would do is I would take this tool right here and create crossfades to make it blend a little bit better. And then once you're done with that, you can go ahead and close all these playlists out. And to do that, you go up here and click on waveform instead of playlist. And that'll just give you your current comp track or whatever track you're listening to. And once we have all that done, we'll just go ahead and consolidate these tracks and then send them off to wherever they need to go. And that's about it. Like I said, it's not really hard. It's mostly just finding a workflow that works best for you. This one works good for me, and it sped my turnaround time up a ton. If this video helped you out, go ahead and let me know down in the comments and hit the like button too. That'll help the video and all those YouTube things. And if you haven't yet, feel free to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on all the new videos I post on this channel 3 times a week. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys. We're gonna use my notebook that I use my silent click pen for.